All of the OP-06 cards have been revealed. In this video, we're going to talk about the yellow cards. A lot of strong ones, some for the Sky Islands, a little bit support for NL here and there, some event cards that I'm really excited to talk about. And anyway, some more Wano country type cards as well. So let's talk about the yellow cards. It will be the last in this series of videos for OP-06 cards. Thank you guys so much for watching. And let's just jump in. First card itself, which is Organza? I mean, that's probably a proper name. It's been a while since I read like Skypea, so I can't remember. I generally don't remember character names that much. So one cost 0 power, counter 2000. Counter 2000. And on play, look at the top. One card from look at up to one card from the top of your or your opponent's life and place it above or below the life. So it's a way to reorder the life. So that's good, and it's searchable with Shura. So it could be, it's like a katakuri type thing. Yeah, I think this could be quite interesting, and it's a 2k counter, so that's great. Next we got Inashi, 4 cost, 5000 power with counter 1000. Dawn 2, when attacking, you can discard one card from your hand, KO up to one of your opponent's characters whose cost is less than or equal to your opponent's life. So it's kind of like a Gadatsu on a stick, but you gotta put 2 Dawns on it, and yeah, I think it's pretty cool. And the great thing is, like, if your opponent has 3 or less life, which, you know, Yamato exists, this card appears. You can play this card for free, and that's gonna be the theme for all the Wano country type cards. And the great thing is that you can kind of bring it out with Arlong if you want to. Yeah, there could be an Arlong specific deck that utilizes the Wano country archetype, and this is the way to go. Next up, oh my god, here we go. Okay, so this card has an uproar in the community. It's Onami. 2 cost, 3000 power with counter 1000, and on play, up to one of your leaders or characters gains banish during this turn. You can play this with your green-yellow Yamato leader, and it's a build your own secret rare Yamato essentially. Double attack and banish. Yeah, insane. It's insane, this card. But that's like the cherry on top of a card that is Onami. Is trigger, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with cost of 5 or less. It's a Thunderbolt. Y'all, it's a Thunderbolt on Nami. I mean, it kind of makes sense because Nami has Zeus, so Nami can use Thunderbolt. Thematically, it makes sense. On a card, what the heck? It's damn pushed. But it's really great, and this gives like, this gives your yellow decks a little bit more protection. You can have 4 Thunderbolts, you can have 4 Onami, you can have 4 of the 4-cost Zoro to kind of get rid of some of the aggressive cards. And I'm putting this into Katakuri straight away. It's just so powerful. And yeah, it's great. Next up we got Praying Mantis, 3 cost, 4000 power with counter 1000, and activate main once per turn. You can place a cost 1 stage card at the bottom of the owner's deck, and then KO up to one of your opponent's characters with cost of 2 or less. And trigger, if your life is at 2 or less, you can play this card. Not that powerful of effect. We already have a card that can bottom deck the 1-cost stage card for yellow in the previous set, OP-05. And yeah, I mean, like, yeah, you can use it because that stage card is a searcher, it's an on-play searcher, and this way you can utilize like removing that to KO something. But yeah, very specific. So I don't see how powerful this will be in the overall metagame. Just kind of subpar in that sense. And then next up, we got Matsu, 3 cost, 5000 power with when attacking, you can discard 2 cards from your hand. Place up to 1 character with 0 power faced up above or below the owner's life. Then a trigger, if your opponent has 3 or less life, you can play this card. Yeah, this is a great way to recover your life just by attacking. And you can, there is a card that's 0 power, which we'll talk about in a little bit, which we have talked about. It's a super rare that you can put into your life, and then you have it and it's a 2k counter in your hand. Yeah, interesting. Very. You can even put like your Momonosuke Searcher if you want to. So you are discarding 2 cards. It's similar to like the trigger ability of the Amaru card, where you discard 2 and gain 1 life. This is on attack. You can do this every single turn, y'all. It's insane. Anyway, Kikunojo, 4 cost, 6000 power with when KO'd, if your opponent has 3 or less life, add up to 1 card from the top of your deck to your life. Great card, great recovery card. Oh, by the way, if your opponent has 3 or less life, this card, you can play this card for free. That's a trigger ability. And yeah, this kind of like, you know, if your opponent wants to KO it, then they KO'd, and if you have 3 or less life, you just gain 1 back. Yeah, I like this combination with like Yamato. You can just have an insane amount of healing. if your opponent doesn't deal with it, then it's a constant like 6k attacker, could be 7k if you put a Dawn on it. Yeah, just very powerful card. Then we got Genbo, 3 cost 5000 power with counter 1000. And yeah, so 3 cost 5000 vanilla. So let's move on to Hiori, Kozuki Hiori. 2 cost 0 power. This is what I'm talking about. You can use Kamatsu to put this back into your life and have a 2k counter. It's a 2k counter, and on play you can add 1 card from the top or bottom of your life to your hand, then add up to 1 card from your hand to the top of your life. So it's like a big mom, except you don't have to have the stipulation of 3 life or less. Yeah, this card is kind of sick, yo, because you can just play it out. You can put like a Beige at the top of your life, attack with Katakuri, and then put it to the bottom, or put any blocker at the top of life. Yeah, just insane card, very powerful, and it's a 2k counter, so yeah, it's really powerful. And next we got the brother, Momonosuke, 5 cost 6000 power with blocker. So Momonosuke is a blocker, and on play, place up to one of your Wano type characters other than Kozuki Momonosuke on the top or bottom of its owner's life pile face up. This is like a Katakuri type thing for yourself. And you can put your Wano characters like Kawamatsu, you can put like the Okiku and every Kikunojo, Kawamatsu back to your life, so that like it protects your characters, and like when your opponent attacks to do it, you can just play it out for free. Just great super rare. Next we got the Tangu Hiteru, 1 cost 2000 power with counter 1000 with no effect, but it has a trigger ability of up to one of your leader or character up to one leader or character with the Wano country trait gets plus 2000 power during this turn. Strong effect. It's like a inbuilt counter 2000 that's triggered from your life. Could potentially save you from a game ending turn. Yeah, and it's for this turn, so that's pretty good. Next up we got Dangero, 5 cost 6000 power with Dawn 2. If the opponent's life is at 3 or less, this character will not be KO'd by any effect. So a great sticky threat for you to have on your field that your opponent's going to have a hard time to get rid of, except for Sakazuki, because you can just bottom deck this guy. And also trigger ability, if your opponent has 3 or less life, play this card. Yeah, you can have like every single card in your deck can have trigger. What a great time to be a yellow player, y'all. Anyway, in Neko Mamushi, 4 cost 5000 power with counter 1000, and Dawn 2, this character can also attack the opponent's active characters. And trigger, if your opponent has 3 or less life, this card appears. So yeah, this is great for yellow, man, because like a lot of like Eno, Sakazuki, they all start with like 4 life, and as long as you attack into it, and then probably just take, and every single card in your life will have trigger. Oh my god, what a great time to be alive and a yellow player. Yeah, anyway, this card is great. I mean, like, you have the potential to attack into your opponent's active characters if you want to. Yeah, I think it's like I mean, we've seen Frankie have that effect. We've seen some other cards that have the effect. It's just okay. Other than that, even if it's 4 cost 5000 vanilla, you'll be happy that you have him for free. Next up, we got Braham, 3 cost 4000 power with counter 1000. Activate main once per turn. You can place a stage card with a cost of 1 at the bottom of its owner's deck. Then vest up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 4 or less. Yeah, I think that's pretty decent. And then if your life is at 2 or less, make this card appear. Great for Eno, great for any yellow deck that wants to be at 2 or less life. Yeah, I think it's okay. I mean, you do need to have the stage card. So the Sky Island or Skypia type cards could potentially use this alongside with Upper Yard. Just don't see the full power of it. It's just a useful card to have, but kind of lackluster in that sense. Next, we got Riso, 3 cost 4000 power, you counter 1000, and when attacking, you can discard 1 card from your hand and up to 1 card from your opponent's Dawn, so rest 1 of your opponent's Dawn instead. So it could be good if your opponent has like Dawns they want to keep up, but it's still, if your opponent has 3 or less life, this card appears. Just another great trigger for the Wano Country yellow cards. And there we go. Next, we got Raki. Hello. 1 cost 1000 power, we counter 1000. If there is a character other than Raki who has the Warrior of Shandara Warrior, this character gains blocker. So as long as you have another character that has the Shandara Warrior trait, this card gets blocker. Conditional blockers suck. You know how I feel about them. So sorry, Raki, we gotta pass on that. Next we got Wiper, and this is, I feel like people were robbed of a proper Wiper super rare, because I know a lot of people like Wiper as a character, but okay, at least it's here, right? 5 cost, 7,000 power. On play, you can place 1 cost, 1 stage card. So a cost 1 stage card at the bottom of its owner's deck. Then look at the top 5 cards of your deck, then select 1 card with Upper Yard or the Warrior of Shandora characteristic, and then add it to your hand and place the rest at the bottom in any order that you like. So it's a searcher. It's a searcher for specifically Upper Yard or cards with the Shandora Warrior archetype. So if you are into that, if you want to play that, which is kind of messed up if you're using Enel as a leader and then the Shandora Warriors as the characters in your deck, yeah, but you can. It's a great searcher, great stat line, 5 cost, 7,000 power. It's A-okay. Yeah, I think it's a decent card, just not sure where it will end up in the overall meta game after all. Alright, now we are going to talk about the yellow card. So there are 2 events and 1 stage card. So first of all, it's You Disappear, or it's better if You Disappeared. It's a 0 cost event card. Counter, you can discard 1 card from your hand up to 1 of your leader or character gains plus 3,000 power during this battle. The trigger ability is if your life is 0, add up to 1 card from the top of your deck to the top of your life, then discard 1 card from your hand. So let's talk about the counter first. Yes, please. This is the card that yellow needed for sure. You know how I know that this card is? Because most of the time when I'm at the later half of the game, I might have a handful of 7 cost Big Moms. I might have a handful of Paris. All of them don't have counter. So this card would be really, really great because you can discard like a 7 cost Mom for a 3k counter at least. Great card for yellow. I'm just slotting this into category. Yeah, any yellow card I see is like, ooh, category could use that. But also, trigger, if your life is at 0, it's essentially just using the Annals effect. And how it works is if your card, this is the card that you have, your last life, and you haven't triggered your Annal Leader's ability, you will trigger this event first, then you discard 1 card from your hand, you recover 1 life, and then the Annal ability will trigger, and then you discard a card from your hand and you recover another life. So you end up being at 2 life after that. Pretty sick. Very great card for yellow. I like it. And then next is Expulsion, 4 cost event card with main. Choose one of the following. KO up to 1 of your opponent's characters with a cost of 5 or less, which is kind of great. I mean, it's just removal on an event card. And if the other ability that you can choose from is if your opponent has 1 life, deal 1 damage to your opponent, then add the top card of your life to your hand. The trigger ability is to draw 1 card. So this is great. It's essentially, yeah, the counter to Enel, because you can immediately just deal 1 life to your opponent. Like they have to, if they have 1 life, you bring it down to 0, force them to use the revive ability. And it's kind of fitting because this is the moment before Enel uses the revive ability. So like it's definitely on flavor. And yeah, and at the cost of you taking a life because you're damaging yourself, right? So good. I mean, like when One Piece card game does things like this, when it's like super on flavor, know that I appreciate it 100%. But it's a great card. It's a great removal for yellow, and additional 4 cost removal. It's like a jet pistol, so to say. And it's also a way to counter Enel. I don't know how many yellow cards will slot, yellow decks will slot this card into their list, but it's there if they want to use it. And lastly, it's Ark Maxim, the 1 cost stage card for Enel. Oh boy. Activate main once per turn. Rest this card and 1 of your Enel cards. KO all of your opponent's characters with a cost of 2 or less. So if you wanted a big like middle finger to Red Green Law, here we go. And this is great. I mean, right now there's a little bit less because Sakazuki is floating around, but you can use this either way as kind of like an insurance if you're facing a lot of like also great against like Thriller Bug, although less effective because they have on KO effects. But yeah, I think this card is like a really true hate card for Red Green Law, because any searcher that dance 2 or less, goodbye, you're done. Just rest this and your Enel leader, you're good to go. Not sure, like the current meta game is changing a little bit, so this could not be as useful as we think. But the moment Red Green Law creeps back up into the meta game, which you know always happens, then just slide this Ark Maxim in your yellow Enel deck and you're good to go. Great card, insane. got the community riled up when this was revealed. And that's it. Every single card OP-06 talked about. Oh my god, I've been talking about for like 2 hours. I hope you guys enjoy. If you made it this far, if you watched all the videos, thank you so much for your support. And yeah, OP-06 is a fun set for sure. I'm looking forward to Thriller Buck. I'm looking forward to using Perona as the leader actually. But now when I'm looking at Gecko Moria, I'm like, that shit's kind of cool too. And also all the new yellow cards that I can boost category up. I do that every set. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. OP-06 is going to be out next week. I'm going to be doing a box opening. Not sure if it's going to be like exactly at midnight. I may have to like pick it up the day after, seeing how the schedule goes. But still very exciting stuff. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.